So I would like to give a very short introduction about myself, although Ian have mentioned that, so that we can get to know each other better. So at first, my doctorate degree, in fact, is not in psychology or mindfulness, but I'm a chemist. I am still a chemist teaching organic chemistry in USM. So I will invite you later to do some experiment, not the chemistry experiment, but mindfulness experiment with me, so that you can understand mindfulness more. Okay? And when I first came to know about mindfulness, it was in my second year of university. That time I suffer from insomnia and also some emotional issue. I also met one of the participants today. She said she attended my talk somewhere, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and it helped her in her insomnia. So mindfulness is really a very powerful tool. If you learn it and then you apply it, you immediately can see the benefit of it. So today I'm also going to share with you some simple mindfulness tools that you can bring home and practice at home. So when I was at Oxford doing my PhD, so there was an Oxford Mindfulness Center. Now, in fact, they call it the Oxford Mindfulness Foundation. Okay? So I met Professor Mark William, who is the author of this book. This is a very good book. I highly recommend it. Perhaps the library can get a few copies. Okay, and you can also get a few copies by Professor Mark Williams, called Mindfulness, Finding Peace in a Frantic World. So, in fact, Professor Mark Williams and his team play a very important role in introducing mindfulness into the UK Parliament. Therefore, they come out with a report called a Mindful Nation UK report. You can imagine how mindfulness is appreciated by UK especially, and also European country and United States as well. So it's something, we call it a mindful revolution. It's like a movement, because now in a very fast-paced world like today, everybody sometimes have to cope with a lot of emotional issues and also stress. So mindfulness will provide some practical tools that you can really do and apply, and so that it can enhance your ability to cope with challenges. So this is a Search Inside Yourself book. This guy now retired from Google. He is previously he was called the Jolly Good Fellows of Google. Okay? He also played a very important role in Google by inviting many mindfulness speakers. That time when I was in the UK, I watched a lot of YouTube, recorded videos. When Meng, his name is Jack Ming Tan, a Singaporean, a born Singaporean, invited a lot of speakers to speak at Google, and he also developed a mindfulness course, a mindfulness-based emotional intelligence course called the Search Inside Yourself, by the same name at Google. Okay, I was lucky enough, in fact, to receive a personal scholarship by him to be trained as a SIY certified teachers more than 10 years ago. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you a little bit about Search Inside Yourself, and because it's very relevant to our topics today, the art and science of mindfulness for stress relief. So in SIY, we have 3 major components: mindfulness, neuroscience, and also emotional intelligence. We use mindfulness as a tool to train or to develop emotional intelligence, and it's backed up by the neuroscience. So today's talk also, I'm going to share with you, in these 3 aspects, how mindfulness could help us to develop our own emotional intelligence, and also some knowledge about science. Okay, mindfulness is something is proven with scientific evidence, and the effectiveness of it. Talking back to the mindfulness-based stress, what we call it, mindfulness-based stress reduction, we call it MBSR, another program which was also called MBCT, Mindfulness-Based Cognitive Therapy, MBCT. The effectiveness of MBCT is equivalent to taking antidepressant. Okay, so this has been proven. You can go and find out. Okay, so it's a good news for many people. Actually, not limited to people with emotional challenges, but it's also very important for us, you know, like working adults or even moms, you know, everyone will be benefited by learning mindfulness. So now I would like to conduct what we call, share with you a practice called arriving. Many times when we arrive at one place, like today talks, and also a meeting, you see, many times our body are here, but the mind is elsewhere. It's very difficult for us to settle down and calm down and focus on our task, isn't it? So now I would like to invite everyone to stand up. So you have okay. If there is a chair in front of you, that is the best. If not, then maybe you can move a little bit. Okay, or bring a chair next to you, also fine. Why is it so? Because I'm going to share with you this practice. We are doing mindfulness in a standing posture. The reason why you need a chair in front of you, so that you have the stability. Sometimes when we close our eyes, you fall asleep and you fell down. So this is for the safety purpose. Okay, so make sure you stand behind your chair. Okay, or you move around to make sure that you put your hands on the chairs. Okay, now you may slowly close your eyes. Keep your standing upright. The crown of the head pointing to the sky. Shoulders relaxed. And feel your both feet on the floor. And you can feel your hands touching the chair. Maybe some cooling sensation. I want you to be curious and bring your attention to feel your own body, especially feet on the floor. Both legs supporting the whole upper body. Shoulders relaxed. Feel the touching sensations of your fingers or hands with the chair. Feel your standing posture. Your spine supporting your upper body. Shoulders relaxed on the both sides. Neck supporting the head. And feel your head and your facial expression. Feel your lips touching each other. Aware of your forehead, temples, both ears, your neck, shoulders, both hands. Not to imagine, not to picture yourself, but to feel it, the sensation, the temperatures of a body. The shirt is covering your skin. Feel your chest, abdomen, the back, upper back, lower back. Maybe some tensions on the shoulders, that's fine. Feel the spine supporting the whole upper body. Your pelvis area, buttock, reproductive system, both legs, thigh, knee, calf, and sole, tapak kaki, feet on the floor. Aware of your whole body standing here. Just aware of your presence of your whole body. And there is awareness. There is aware of all this. The physical body. Physical body have no consciousness, no awareness. But your mind has awareness. Aware of the physical body. The body is just like an object. The mind is like a subject, the knowing, aware of the whole body. If your mind wanders, that is fine, it's very natural. Notice that and bring it back again to feel the body. Feet on the floor, hands on the chair, both legs supporting the body, upper body, lips are touching each other's, eyes, lips are touching each other's, both ears. Now aware of the state of mind. Do you feel clearly aware, awake, or feeling a little bit sleepy, or many thoughts in the mind? That's fine. Whatever state or mental state that you are able to feel or aware, that is fine. Just bring kindness and curiosity to this physical body and also the state of mind. Now extend your attention to hear the sound in this room, including my sound or any sound. Hearing, pay attention to the hearing is taking place. Now bring attention to your eyes. Maybe you can see the lightness, the light. Then slowly open your eyes. When you open your eyes, look in front. Aware that seeing is happening. Are you able to aware that seeing is taking place? Yeah. So this is what we call awareness. Okay, please be seated. Thank you for the practice. This is a short practice, like less than maybe 5 minutes practice. It's very simple. But it's not easy as you said, okay? Because we are too complicated. Our minds has many thoughts, okay? And in the surrounding there is many disturbance, okay? But in mindfulness, before I explain further, we do not try to cut off anything. Remember? Please remember this. In mindfulness, we do not try to cut off our thoughts. We do not try to cut off the noise. Okay, because this is something impossible that we cannot do that. Okay, we are not able to do that. Sound is there, whether you like or not, you will hear that. Of course. So mindfulness is inclusive. Mindfulness is not exclusive. So to learn mindfulness, the first very important thing is to have the right understanding. Okay, if we do not have the right information and right understanding, so we are going to practice with our own way. And many times it's wrong. As what you have just shared, you try to not to listen, okay? Try to be focused. And then you find it very difficult, okay? Because this is something impossible. Okay, so in mindfulness, we do not try to do that. Okay, so no worry. I try my best to share with you in this very short 90 minutes talk, okay? What is mindfulness? How we could practice mindfulness. Okay, let me continue, okay? So, okay, we have done this. So, just now when we listen to our friend, do you fully pay attention to them? Or when they're trying to share with you, our mind is somewhere else also, many times, isn't it? So, in mindfulness also, when they are in a conversation, we try to remind ourselves to pay our full attention to our audience. Many times when someone shares with us, we also have many thoughts in our mind and we stop them from talking. Okay, so this is something also we need to try doing as well. And this exercise is called mindful listening. Just now I did not have the time to explain further, but this is something that you could try to practice at home as well. When you speak to your husband, to your child, and to your peers, try to pay full attention to them, okay, and listen to them. And this is what we call mindful listening. So mindfulness has many aspects. One aspect is what we call inner awareness. Being aware of what is happening in our body and our mind. Our mind including emotions, feelings and thoughts. Okay? The second aspect is we try to pay attention to the external environment, including others when you talk to someone. And also when you want to cross the road, you need to pay attention whether it's safe or not. That is also a form of mindfulness. if you like to say. Okay, if not, when you play with your handphone and try to cross the road, what will happen, is it? So this is what we call mindless, being mindless. So mindfulness is the opposite of absent-mindedness and also being mindless. Okay, so I'm going to share with you more. Why are we here? Many times, why are you making the effort to listen to this talk? I believe because we are facing with challenges, isn't it? Whether work challenges, stress, especially if you're working in Bursa, I think it's quite stress as well. The share market up and down, and then you will be affected by all this, isn't it? And also, many times we are multitasking. Even though you are a full-time mom, you never feel free as well. You have to take care of your home, take care of your kids. Okay, so our mind is very messy, if you like to say. There is no or very less moment that we could fully aware and feel peace with ourselves, because our mind is always busy, and you are not alone. Let's assure that. Okay. So the research show almost 50% of our average time we spend in mind wandering. Even though you are not trying to do anything, you will just sit here and try to rest yourself, but the mind is very busy. Thoughts, think about tomorrow, think about the past, think about all this, isn't it? And especially with the modern age, we have Facebook, Instagram, now ChatGPT, so never stop, and a lot of information. Now we are information overload, many times. How to filter what really matters to you? What are the useful information? I think this is something that is really important, isn't it? So the scientists tell us there is a network in our brain called the default mode network. It's like when we are using the computer, the laptop or PC, when you are not using it, it goes back to the default mode. Our mind also the same. When you do not pay attention to doing your work, the mind will go back to the default mode. Default mode is what? Is mind wandering. Always thinking here, thinking there. This, we call it, the short form called DMN, especially become very active when you are very concerned with something. For example, you are very concerned with the share market. Okay, you invested a lot already. Okay, and then you couldn't sleep well because this is something that you care a lot. Okay, or for example, this morning, in fact, until this morning only, I started to aware there is some butterfly in my stomach because I need to give a talk this afternoon. Okay, but it's in fact it's improvement, because 10 years ago when I was first invited to conduct such a talk or mindfulness workshop in the industry, I would felt that a week before, okay, and then maybe a night before. Okay, now it's better. This morning only I start to feel some anxiousness or anxiety. This is normal as well. Why? Because a different condition. So when we learn mindfulness, we do not try to stop our emotion, we do not try to suppress our emotion, but we try to open our heart and be with our emotions. But that time, we bring kindness to it. Later I will explain more how to be aware of our emotions, or how to improve our emotional awareness. Okay, later I will share with you more. So the scientists tell us, these are the research from the Harvard University, a wandering mind is not a happy mind. But everybody have mind wandering, so everybody is not happy, isn't it? The conclusion is very simple, isn't it? So this is, in fact, this is a fact. Okay, so if we do not train ourselves to stay focused and stay calm, at least for a short period of time, so our mind, our brain is like keep on working non-stop. You try to imagine, if a machine try working non-stop 24 hours per day, the machine, of course the machine will have no feeling, but our human have feeling, isn't it? So we will feel very tired, even though you have long hours of sleep, but you do not truly feel that you are rested or rejuvenated after your rest. Okay? So to learn how to manage our emotions and stress is really very important. If you do not know how to manage them, and sometimes they become overwhelmed, so many things will happen, and you get anxiety, depressions, Sometimes some people even kill themselves because they couldn't stand with their emotion anymore. Is it? So if we do not know how to manage our emotion, this will happen. Is it? The horse is like our emotions, run wild. Okay? And then while we are set to train, emotional skill, we call it emotional intelligence, is trainable. This is a very important message I would like to share with you. Of course, you need to know how to train them. Okay? Many times, we send our kids to tuition class, learn about all types of pianos, or whatever classes, but very seldom as a parents or as a teachers, even like myself, has been teaching for more than 20 years. Actually, we only teach our student chemistry, maths, calculus, but we never teach them how to manage their emotion. Did you notice that? And our emotion life is very important part of our life. Someone said, without a mental health, there is no health without a mental health. Isn't it? So it's very important to learn the emotional skill on how to manage our stress and emotion. So this is like we start to learn already, so we can ride the horse. And in fact, if you are good enough, there is still room for improvement. We call it to optimize. This is what we want to learn. Become the mastery or master of our emotion. So this is suitable for everyone. Okay. So when I conduct the SIY course, Search Inside Yourself course, is a leadership course. So it's purposely to train leaders or managers how to manage themselves better, so that they can create a better impact, to the company, to the society, and so on. Okay, try to imagine if a political leaders without a good emotional intelligence, what will happen to the world? Now we can see what happened to the world, isn't it? Yeah. So what to do? When we have to cope with all sorts of these challenges, can we do something or not? Okay, this is something that we can do. To learn mindfulness. Mindfulness has been called a superpower that we can use to build our inner strength, our mental strength, our resilience, and so on. So when talking about emotional intelligence or EQ, therefore I call it EQ mindfulness, so people easy to understand. We are using mindfulness to develop our EQ or EI, which is emotional intelligence. There are 4 aspects of emotional intelligence. The first and the very important aspect is called the self-awareness. Did you notice that your mind has wandered? Did you notice that you feel angry already? Yeah? Many times we do not aware of it, and then the emotions become wild. Okay? Then we throw tempers, some people even worse, kill people because of the, we call it emotional hijack. Okay? Amygdala hijack. Hijacked by our emotion. Second aspect of emotional intelligence, we call it self-management. First, we have to come to be aware of the emotion, then only we can learn how to manage them. Isn't it? So the third aspect is when we interact with others, can we cultivate this social awareness? So for example, you work in the office day and night, and today you see there's something wrong with my colleague. He looks very moody, very unhappy. So did you notice that or not? Can you offer some kind words or help to them or not? So this is how we can create a caring society, a caring working environment, isn't it? So this is what we call social awareness, awareness of others. Okay, and then relationship management. So how we can manage the emotion, our relationship. The relationship can be many aspects, isn't it? Family relationship, a love life relationship, working relationship with our colleagues. Okay, how are we going to manage this relationship? If these relationships are not managed well, it also can create a lot of tension, to our families and to the workplace as well. So these are the 4 major aspects of emotional intelligence. Of course, today, because the time is very short, I'm going to share with you more on self-awareness and self-management, and how we can apply mindfulness to develop self-awareness and self-management. Okay, how? Okay, the first thing that we try to develop is to shift from autopilot to aware. What is autopilot? For example, I work in USM, but this morning I decided to go somewhere before going to work, okay? But I ended up at USM. Did it happen to you before? This is what we call autopilot because we are so used to it. Without much thinking, we follow the same road, okay? This is physical autopilot. Sometimes emotion can also become an autopilot because when you do not manage it well, so therefore people become suffer insomnia because they always follow their thoughts and they try to stop their thoughts, okay? And you can really never able to manage it. Then you have to learn a skill, okay? Not to stop thinking, but to channel your attention to somewhere else. And this is something I'm going to share with you later. But I'm going to share with you now is self-awareness is a shift from autopilot to aware. Okay? Mindfulness is an English term. In Bahasa, we call it minda ketara sedang. This is a new word created by IKIM. IKIM, what is IKIM? Institute Kefahaman Islamic Malaysia. I think more than 10 years ago, they invited me to conduct a 2-day mindfulness workshop for them. IKIM is a very first, what we call institution, in fact, invited a mindfulness speaker to Malaysia. First, one of them is Professor Alan Langer from Harvard University. And this is a term because previously we do not have a term. We don't have an English term called mindfulness. We have a term called be mindful. Isn't it? What is the meaning of being mindful? Be aware, be attentive. For example, mindful is fine. Sometimes we go to the, what we call London Tube. We call it mindful of your step. Isn't it? Means you have to be careful. So mindfulness has a meaning being attentive, being careful. This is what we normally use in the English term. But there is no such a word mindfulness maybe before 90s, what we call 1990. Okay? You cannot find the word. So in fact, mindfulness is an ancient knowledge that has been, or ancient wisdom that has been passed through generation to us. In many spiritual tradition, okay, you have the contents or have the what we call the meanings of mindfulness in that. Okay? So in Chinese, some of you read Chinese, the terms for mindfulness is called nian. Chinese is a very meaningful, what we call words. If you can read these words, of course, it's pronounced nian, but it's a combination of two characters. The top character, we call it jing. Jing means now, the present. Okay, the bottom character, we call it sin. Sin is the heart. Sin is not hati. Sometimes we say hati is true, not the liver. Sin is our, if Malay we call it, suka hati, duka hati, but that is not our liver. Okay, it's the attention, it's the mind. So mindfulness has the meaning of being aware and being fully present of what is happening in your mind, okay, but also in your body, because when something happens in your body, you need to notice it as well, isn't it? So mindfulness, first, the general definition is a present moment awareness. Okay, so this is the opposite of absent-mindedness. So everybody needs mindfulness. Do you agree? Without mindfulness, you cannot pay attention to me. Your mind is elsewhere already. Means you are absent-minded. You are mindlessness already. Isn't it? And the original meanings of mindfulness, as I said, it means, can you read? Bear in mind. Bear in mind means what? Remember. Isn't it? You need to remember. So to practice mindfulness, first you have to remember or understand the concept, the right understanding about mindfulness, and also the right attitude that you have to develop while practicing mindfulness. This is first thing. The second thing, you need to remember how to do it, correctly. What to pay attention. For example, just now I guide you in paying attention to your body. Okay, just now I guide you in bringing your attention to your body, isn't it? So body is an object of your attention. Okay, so in mindfulness we have several objects, but what is more important is our physical state, which is our body, and our mental state. Sometimes we call it our mind. Mental state inclusive of your feelings. How are you feeling? Pleasant, unpleasant, happy, unhappy. So these are, we call it your emotional state, if you like to call it. Okay, this is also something that we can pay attention to it. But to pay attention to it is not enough. You can pay attention with all sorts of different attitude. You pay attention, I don't like it, I want it to disappear. That is wrong attitude and wrong understanding. This is the definition given by the UK Mindful Nation UK report. Mindfulness means paying attention to what is happening in the present moment, in the mind, body, and external environment with an attitude of curiosity and kindness. So the attitude parts, what we are trying to cultivate is curiosity and kindness. What does kindness mean? Means to make friends. Okay, don't make your emotion become your enemy. Okay, don't try to push away your thoughts. You don't push away your friends, isn't it? You welcome your friends. So when we aware of the thoughts, we just see it as a mental phenomena. It comes and goes. It's fine to have this thought. It's fine to have this feeling. For example, I say, I feel butterflies in my stomach. It's fine. Although it doesn't feel good, it feels slightly unpleasant. But we do not try to stop it or do not try to fight with it. We allow it to be there, and then we bring our gentle attention to feel the emotions in our body, if you like to call it. This is how we practice mindfulness. Okay, after sharing with you, a lot of information, it's a time to do some practice. Because mindfulness is a practice. It's not enough to read mindfulness from a book or listen to a talk. It's important to have the right information, but this is not enough. Just like you read books teaching you how to swim, but you never try to swim in the swimming pool. When you jump into the swimming pool, what will happen? Isn't it? So this will happen. So mindfulness is a skill. That is a trainable. That is something that you can do and practice. Like you are playing a piano. How much time that you need to invest in learning how to play a piano, isn't it? It's the same thing also when we want to learn emotional skill, like mindfulness skill. We also need to invest some time. But I believe the time that you need to invest, if you can invest 10 to 15 minutes per day, that will be good enough already. It's a very good start for you. So now, later, I'm going to try to share with you some of the mindfulness practice that I hope that after you learn it, okay, you can go back and practice. Then this talk become more meaningful, rather than I tell you, how wonderful in mindfulness is, but without teach you how to fish, isn't it? Giving you fish, okay? So before we start our practice, okay, the first part of mindfulness training is what we call attention training. To train our attention so that we can pay attention to our mind and body at this present moment. Okay, so this needs training. So the first thing we call it attention. What is attention? So now, can everyone pay attention to this mic? This is what is attention. Means you direct your attention to a certain direction. The second aspect is when we pay attention to our body, for example, and then very quickly you will find that your mind starts to wander something else. You will be get carried away by the sound, being carried away by the thoughts, by your wandering thoughts. And then you start to notice, I have been carried away. That is fine. That is what we call meta attention. What is meta attention? Meta attention is the attention of your attention. So this is part of the mindfulness training. Therefore, I said, in mindfulness practice, we do not try to stop thinking. What you need to do is you start to notice, my mind has wandered. I have listened. I have heard this noise. Okay, it has already passed. Okay, what you need to notice that just now my mind did that. Now I am aware of this mind. So now I want to re-establish my mindfulness back to the present moment. So let me make it clear. Why do we use our body and sometimes we use our breath as our reference point? Sometimes I call it reference object. reference point is not good because you think of one point. When I say reference object, your whole body is your reference object. In mindfulness practice, we always need a reference object. What is the reason? And our reference object is always need to be present. Okay? Because when you pay attention to your body, for example, your mind pay attention to it, isn't it? Your attention pay attention to it. So when we pay attention to our body, our attention is at the present moment. Isn't it? When you forget your body, think of something else already, your attention is elsewhere already, isn't it? So after that we notice, oh, I have forgot about my body. I have forgotten my body, isn't it? So that time means your mind elsewhere already. So you need a reference object to come back again, if I have to say, as a reference object, so that you bring attention back to this reference object. So this is the core of our practice. So the more that your mind wandered, the more that you can be aware of it, the more you can be present. So in mindfulness, we do not stop thinking, do not try to stop thinking because that is impossible, and we do not try to stop mind wandering, because mind wandering is a chance for us to establish our awareness, that know that the mind has wandered. That is awareness, that is metta attention. So after we know that the mind has wandered, so the next thing is you re-establish your awareness back to your body. Okay? So there are two aspects. One is with a reference object, we pay attention to it. So the mind is at the present moment. Second, the mind starts to wander. Okay? And then you notice that what mind wandering has gone. Now at this present moment, you're aware that mind has wandered. Okay? After that, the next moment, you come back to your reference. So this is how you train yourself to be present. And this needs a lot of training. And also, to practice this, your mind needs to be relaxed, need to be kind to yourself, because we always make mistake. The mind always wandered. We do not judge that. Okay? It's fine, the mind has wandered, but now I notice that the mind has wandered. So you bring kindness to yourself, bring curiosity, and bring openness to yourself. So when we are practicing mindfulness, you see there are so many good quality of mind that we cultivated. Openness, kindness, patience, present-mindedness. Okay, I think I have explained enough. Let's do some practice. Okay, this time we are doing in a sitting posture. Okay, so I'm going to guide you through this. Now I would invite everyone to raise your hand, both hands, and put it down. Put it down. This is like a signal to us to let go of our work, of our family, even our loved one for the next few minutes only. Okay, let go of everything and being fully present with our body and mind at this moment. Feel your feet on the floor, hands on the laps. Feel your whole body is sitting here. Feel your upper body, shoulders relaxed, sitting posture. And now also bring curiosity and kindness to aware that the body is breathing. Just be curious and ask yourself, am I breathing in or breathing out at the moment? Explore with the process of breathing. Body sitting here, and the body is breathing. Not to imagine, but to feel the breath. Chest movement, abdomen movement, that's fine. Whichever way you find it. Remember your body sitting here. Different touching sensation. Feet on the floor, hands on the laps. Your sitting posture, your breath. If you notice your mind wanders, that's fine. Notice that, know that, and come back to aware of your body. your whole body. Feet on the floor, buttock on the chair, sitting posture, warmness of our body, weight of our body, and the state of your mind. Feeling restless, calm, distracted, whatever way it is fine. Okay, now expand your awareness again to your whole body. Feel your sitting posture, different touching sensation. Feet on the floor, hands on the laps, sitting posture, temperatures of the body. And open your awareness to the surrounding. Hear the sound. Aware of the lightness in this room. And slowly open your eyes. When you open your eyes, aware that seeing is happening. Because seeing is also happening at this present moment. Okay? Now, I would like to invite you to put your hands together. When you put your hands together, can you feel your hands touching each other? The warmness of your hands, the softness or tenderness of your hand. That's what we call the bodily sensation or body touch. Okay? Now rub your hand. When you rub your hand, can you aware of the movement? Yes. Your hands are rubbing each other. Rub it faster so that become warm in it. And then you may cup your hands, your warm hands. Okay, cup it this way. Feel the warmness of your hands. Slowly, transfer the heat to your face. Okay? Feel like a stone massage. Okay? How do you feel at this moment? Feeling present or not? Okay? Relaxed or not? Okay? And then give yourself a massage on your forehead. Okay? Give yourself a massage on your foreheads, the temples. Okay? And then wash face, both hands, because I only have one hand. Okay? Because you are doing the recording. Okay? Wash your face, like in the morning. Okay? And then give yourself a massage on your shoulders. Okay, your shoulders. Okay. And then if you like, you can tap your hands and body as well. Tapping. Okay. Okay. Everyone is doing very well. Do you feel there is a small shift in your mind? Okay, from at the beginning and now. Maybe you feel more calmer, more relaxed. How many of you feel in such a way? Can you raise your hand? Oh, quite good, isn't it? How many of you feel more restless after the practice? That I cannot stay, I have too many things to do. That is fine as well. If you are able to aware of this, like what we call the rushness, and the restlessness in the mind. So you just pay attention to it, that's fine. So in mindfulness, we pay attention, some people call it in a non-judgmental way. Okay? We do not try to judge this is good, this is bad. Okay? But we bring kindness even to a strong negative emotion, if I like to say. Okay? So this is something that we need to cultivate. Kindness and curiosity. To be able to do it, actually you are building your inner strength. Okay? So to cope with your emotions. Okay? Okay, so this is something that you can learn. This is the second time I'm guiding you doing this, and you already can see some improvement, isn't it? Okay, so you try to imagine if you practice it more, then it will be different. So now, mindfulness, or we call it our attention, is like a camera lens. Sometimes we can, if you want to take pictures of a panoramic view, like a mountain, you have to zoom in or zoom out. You have to zoom out in it. And then if you want to take a small little ants, then you have to zoom in it. So our awareness is also like that. Like when we pay attention to our body, sometimes we even pay attention to the surrounding. seeing, hearing. This is what we call open awareness. I haven't got enough time to guide you on that. But there is also something that we can do is to zoom in and stay focused with one object. Okay? But that is without too much stress. Okay? You just have to feel it. For example, when we pay attention to the breath, let me explain one more time. When we say we pay attention to the breath, actually you no need to narrow it down to this, to pay attention to your upper lips. This is too focused, which is not really good. When we say pay attention to the breath, you can also be open slightly and feel your breath. If I ask myself, am I breathing in or breathing out? Okay, now everyone, try to ask yourself, even with open eyes, can you feel that at this moment, are you breathing in or breathing out? Do you take an in breath or out breath? Can you feel so? You are able to feel it, isn't it? Without focusing too hard, isn't it? So later, I'm going to guide you what we call the mindful breathing exercise. Now, from body, we try to zoom in slightly, okay, and feel our breath. You can feel your breath in a many different ways. It can be the movement of chest, movement of the air, that is fine. Whatever way that you feel more comfortable. If for whatever reason you cannot feel your breath, that is also fine. You come back to your body. Okay? Okay, let's do it together. One more time. Okay, I'm going to guide you. This, okay, we do the mindful breathing together first. Okay? Okay, now try to find a comfortable posture. At first, feel your whole body first. And then bring your attention to feel your breath. You just need to be curious and aware whether you are taking an in breath or out breath without focusing too hard. Feel your breath gently. You may be able to feel the breath for a very short time, and then the mind wanders. That's fine, because this is what the mind does. And then you remember your reference object, which is your body and breath. Sometimes you can combine both. Okay? Sometimes it's only one object you feel boring, so you add breath a little bit. Okay? And then you come back to the body. Now, I'm going to share with you a very short practice called a 3 minutes mindful space. Because I understand that not everybody have time, isn't it? But if you can make 3 minutes, can you make 3 minutes in one day? You can, I think. If I ask you 30 minutes, it's almost impossible. But 3 minutes is very feasible and possible, isn't it? So now, sometimes I even call it a 3 breath practice. But now we do it 3 minutes. So the first minute, what we are going to do is we pay attention to our body. And the body awareness that we have done. It can be any part of the body, and it can be the whole body. Okay, so I'm going to ring the bell. I said body awareness. Let me do it. Second minute, you bring attention slightly focused to your breath. That's for the second minute. And then third minute, you go back to your body again. Okay, or even the third minute, you can do open awareness. Hear the sound, that is also fine. Shall we do it together? This time, I will not guide much, but I will just ring the bell and tell you what to do, and then you give it a try. Okay? Okay, now everyone take a comfortable posture. Sit in a way that you feel relaxed and alert. When I ring the first bell, you may start to practice body awareness for 1 minute. Feel your body, feet on the floor, or top on the chair. Sitting posture, any touching sensation for 1 minute. For the second minute, you may bring attention to feel your breath. or feel your body is breathing. That minutes, bring attention to feel the body again. The whole body sitting here, feet on the floor, temperatures of the body, weight of the body, and slowly expand your attention to the surrounding, the sound, the lightness, and slowly open your eyes. Okay, and then you may proceed with the next activity that you need to do. Okay, so this is a 3 minutes mindful practice. So you can bring it home and do it at home. It's not very typical. But I start to see many people start to fall asleep already. Feeling too calm, isn't it? Normally we don't close our eyes. So when we close our eyes, it's like that. In fact, you can practice mindfulness with open eyes. We call it open awareness, but now no time to share with you. Okay, maybe next time. Okay. In fact, normally when I conduct such a workshop, it's a half a day or 1 full day workshop, so that you can learn and then we can practice more. Okay. But today is more like introduction. Okay. So you can also stop for a while and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? You can doing anything. Okay. Doing your job, in front of computers, you pause a moment and ask, how am I feeling right now? Do I need a rest? Do I need to take a cup of tea or drink? Okay, that is also a form of mindfulness. We call it one moment mindfulness. Okay, in fact, you can practice mindfulness in any posture, standing, walking, lying down, and sitting. Sitting is just one of the possibility. Okay, so this is what we call, what we have just learned is called the 3 minutes mindful space or living space. So there are many applications. Okay, for example, you can start to practice it before your meeting. Okay, or after you reach home, but before you get down of the car, you just re-establish yourself and go home. Okay, and then you bring your full awareness, your present to your family members. Okay, and then for example, even when you try to sleep and you cannot sleep, and then you start to find yourself being caught by a lot of thought and thinking about your works, okay, then you remind yourself, okay, this is not the time to think about this. Let's do some mindful practice, 3 minutes mindful space, and re-establish yourself to the present moment, and then you may rest better. Okay. So what is the science? Because my topic today is called the art and science of mindfulness for stress relief. I haven't forgotten the science yet. Okay, just now what I share with you is an art. Okay, it's a skill that you can learn. Okay, and practice again and see the improvement. So what is the science behind mindfulness research? Okay, so if we look at this table, maybe this is not up to date because this is until 2022. These are the mindfulness research paper that has been published in the academic journal. Okay, so that you can, from early 90s, 1980s, there are not much research being done, but in the past 10 years, a lot of research has shown that mindfulness is really effective, to different population. Can be student, working adult, people suffer from mental issues, and even for working adults, it can be benefited from mindfulness. And one of the very important aspects of this research is called neuroscience, and now the term we call it neuroplasticity. What does it mean by neuroplasticity? Which means that we can train our brain in doing certain function. Okay, and this functional improvement can be observed almost like physically under the MRI machine, through the calculation, through complicated calculation. Then you can see there is a change in the cortical thickness of your brain. To put in a layman term, our brain muscle, you can build your brain muscle, just like we are doing workout and build out our bicep and what we call a six-pack. Okay, so through mindfulness practice, okay, we can train the different parts of our brain, okay, for their functional improvement. Mean you can pay attention better, okay, we call it attention regulation, okay, and also your emotional management, okay, can also be better, and this can be measured through fMRI machine. I just want to introduce to you a very simple one. This is in a simple term. For example, when we pay attention to our breath of our body, especially when we pay attention to our body, this part of the brain that we use is called the insula. Okay, insula is for body awareness. Second part is when we pay attention to our body or even breath, this is like attention regulation. We are using our prefrontal cortex, we call it PFC. So this one, this is PFC. So when we sustain our attention, okay, we are training this part of the brain. Okay, after we pay attention to it, the mind starts to wander. Mind wandering, different parts of our brain has been activated. After that, you notice about the mind has wandered. That is called the meta attention or distraction awareness. That part is done by ACC, anterior cingulate cortex. Okay, so after that, after we notice the mind has wandered, that is meta attention, part of our training, and then we reorientate our attention back to our body and brain, and then again we are using the prefrontal cortex. Isn't it? So in a simple way, when we practice mindfulness, we are developing at least 3 parts of our brain. The first is what we call the insula. Insula is for the body awareness. Second part is what we call the prefrontal cortex. That is for attention regulation. The third part is what we call the ACC. That is for the meta attention, distraction awareness. Okay, so these 3 parts of brain are very important for attention regulation. So let's see some result. Okay. Okay, so these are results. So blue color is a mindfulness participants. Orange color is a control participant. Control means they do something else. Okay, I believe this is done over 8 weeks of a mindfulness course. Okay, so the first thing, this cortical thickness, can you see? This is about the insula. Insula is body awareness and also emotional awareness. Okay, so if we compare the meditation group or mindfulness group with the control, the mindfulness group will have a thicker cortical thickness compared to the control group. Means their brain in this part have more muscle. Okay, so this result is quite significant, isn't it? Because you see, practitioner have thicker cortical thickness, and then control have less. And then second part of the brain is what we call the Brockman area 9 and 10. This is a prefrontal cortex that we have mentioned. Okay, so again, mindfulness practitioner have a thicker prefrontal cortex, compared to the control group. What is interesting is when we get older, when we undergo aging, okay, the prefrontal cortex and insula will become thinner. Okay, so but when you practice mindfulness, it remain almost the same, okay, or thicker than the control group, which means that when you practice mindfulness, there is less chances for you to get, for example, disease like Alzheimer and so on. This also has been proven. And beside that, for ladies, mindfulness has also been proven to have anti-aging effect. So many people say I look younger than my actual age, isn't it? I believe that that is the effect of mindfulness. I have been practicing mindfulness for more than 26 years. I started to practice mindfulness when I was 20 years old, so now I'm 46. Okay? So yeah, there is also the side effect of mindfulness. Okay? You become more happy, better mental health, maybe have a look younger, so many benefits. This is free. Maybe you just have to pay a little bit or ask the company to pay. I can come to conduct the training. Like tomorrow I'm going to AIA to conduct training for them. So yeah, this is something I've been doing a lot of corporate training as well for different companies, because this is very much needed. How much time do I have? Sian? Let's see. 20 minutes. Okay, I think I can finish in 20 minutes. Okay, later I will leave some time for Q&A. So, in short, mindfulness has these advantages. Okay, these are attentional control, improve, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. These are the meta-analysis of the change in the brain region that is associated with this function, the brain function. Okay, so when you practice mindfulness, these are the benefits that you can expect to get. Okay, so the first what we call domain of emotional intelligence is what we call the self-awareness. So what is self-awareness? From this picture then you can see from very blur to HD. Okay, to HD. Okay, so many times we have a lot of running thoughts. Sometimes emotions, we may not be aware of it at the first instant and has been lingering there for a long time and we are affected by it, but we are not aware of it. Okay, so the first thing of self-awareness, what we are trying to improve is our emotional awareness. Of course, there are many aspects of self-awareness, but what we want to emphasize here is emotional awareness. How to be aware of our emotion. If I ask you, now we are all grown adults, isn't it? How to be aware of your emotion? Or maybe I put my question in another way. When you experience certain emotion, for example like sadness, disappointment, anger, where do you feel your emotion? Or how do you know that you are feeling this emotion?
I try to get out from that.
You get out?
You jump out from
After you jump out from that, only you are aware that you suffer from this emotion. Maybe that is too late already. Okay, any other question? Other answer? Okay, let me give you an example. I think everybody have gone through taking the exam stress before. Did you experience when you were younger in the university or college here? Did you experience exam stress? So when you feel this stress, how did you feel it? In what way do you feel it? In your head, in your heart, in your body, or where? For me, let me share with you. I feel it when I experience a lot of stress. I feel like want to vomit. It's really like want to vomit, and sometimes I even like vomiting it out. So it's your body get very strained, okay, and also heart feel very uncomfortable and a feeling like wanted to vomit. So you see, his stress is not although it's something you call it abstract because it's not tangible, but it feels very real, isn't it? Or even sadness. Sometimes when you get what we call break up with your first love, okay, how did you feel? Isn't it? You say my heart is like broken. Isn't it? We use this term to what we call to elaborate our experience. Isn't it? So heartbroken. In Chinese, if you understand Chinese, we call it 心如刀割. It's like your heart being cut by knife. Okay, I believe these are the different terms that we have in the different culture, isn't it? In Malay, macam mana kata duka hati? Patah hati ah? Really patah hati is like broken heart lah. But sometimes we call it duka hati, isn't it? Duka means it feel very sad. So we are using a different terms to elaborate our emotions. But when you ask yourself, or put another example, when you get really angry, how do you feel it in your body? Heartbeats become faster. Okay, your breath become more rapid. Okay, and the whole body become very tense, like full of energy, want to punch people, want to say, these are harsh words out. So the scientists actually find out emotions actually express themselves in our body. This is a research done by a Finland research group. Okay, they are recruiting more than 700 participants from a different region, different country, different color of skin, different religions. Okay, and showing them some of the pictures or video that will bring that will arouse some emotions. Okay, and ask them to express their emotion in certain way. Many of them will say that they feel their emotion in the body. So this, let me explain this diagram. Yellow, orange, and red color mean high activation. Okay, mean heart beat faster. Maybe you feel hotter in that part of the body. Okay, and blue color and blue is like low energy, like losing appetite, losing of energy to do anything. Black color is like a neutral. So we can see from this research, the scientists conclude that, okay, emotional experience is very much, in a certain way, is a physical experience. We feel our emotion actually in our body, or in another way, the emotion express themselves in our body. Therefore, we are using different terms to describe. Okay, wow, heartbroken. You feel heartbroken is not the physical heart, but you feel it here. Our mental heart is almost like here, isn't it? This is something that we can tell. Okay, so how to pay attention, how to improve your emotional awareness is by bringing attention to feel your body. So that is a purpose that we are doing this body awareness. It serves two purposes. First, the body is like an anchor of now, is a reference object for the present moment, so that we come back to the present moment. Second is when we pay attention to our body, we can also improve our emotional awareness. We notice the emotion that has a reason, isn't it? So this will happen, when we experience some strong emotions. In fact, there are various aspects of emotion. One aspect is physical experience. Second aspect is thoughts, okay, and then feelings, and we have a strong impulse to react. So these are the four different aspects of emotions. So many times when these are not being managed well, okay, so this is what happens when we have a negative thought. It is enough to create some strong emotions, and this emotion, we feel it like a bodily symptoms, and these bodily symptoms, it feel very unpleasant. It's enough as a factor to bring out another negative thought. Okay, so this is non-stop. We get caught in a vicious circle, we call it. So people, anxiety, then become panic, then become more depressed, more anxiety. I give you a true example. Last time I have a mindfulness student, he suffered from insomnia. And he went to see psychiatrists, taking pills, sleeping pills, and went to see the psychologist for consultation and so on, but it's not really helpful. After that, he developed panic attack. Before even late in the evening, he started to felt that tonight I couldn't sleep. What will happen to me? So the panic become more panic. So after that, he came to the mindfulness class, and mindfulness helped him a lot. After that, no need to take any sleeping pill, he could sleep very well. So mindfulness helps us to step back, okay? Don't being carried away by the thoughts. So to be able to do so, many times we are getting caught in our thoughts. That is called a doing mode of mind. The mind keep on working non-stop, doing. Are we human being or human doing? Many times we are human doing, okay, non-stop. But mindfulness is we step back, aware of the thoughts, and then or we channel our attention to feel our body, so we become more present, more being present. Okay, so mindfulness will help us to shift the gear, okay, from doing mode to the being mode. Okay, so this is the science aspect of mindfulness, or you can call it the art aspect of mindfulness. We cannot stop thinking. When you try to stop thinking, that is doing mode. When you try to stop not to listen, that is also doing mode, because you are doing something to stop. Being mode is like step back, okay, don't react, step back, okay, and aware of it, okay. So it's more like a passive type of awareness. So from here, what the research trying to tell us is you are not your emotions, because the emotion is just part of your physical experience. Okay, so in terms of looking the emotion in such a way, I am very angry, I am very sad. You can rephrase your sentence, I am experiencing sadness in my body at this time. Just like in the morning, I felt like butterfly, experience in my stomach. Okay, so I take it easy because this is because of the condition. This afternoon I need to give a talk, so I have this emotion. It's natural enough to feel that way. So bring kindness and awareness to the feeling and emotion. So this is what we call the this is how we practice mindfulness. In fact, there is one very important mindfulness practice. It's called the body scan. It's something similar to what we have just done. Okay, you can just Google it. There are many YouTube guidance on body scan exercise. In fact, I would like to recommend, if you just go back and Google Mark Williams with S. Okay, it's a book that I recommended at the very beginning. Okay, Mark Williams, Frantic World. You can find there are many YouTube videos and guided mindfulness practice by Professor Mark Williams from Oxford University. Now he retired already, but that is very useful. This is something that you can go back and continue to practice. Okay, so I will stop this one. So there are many applications, especially body scan. I just briefly explain. When you go back, every night before you sleep, lie on the bed and feel your body on the bed, and then like a scanner, feel your head, your neck, your upper body, lower body. A few rounds, just like using a scanner in the office. Bring your attention to feel your body, and then after some time you will feel that very peaceful and you fall asleep already. Okay, very useful. So in fact, mindfulness have two major practice. One is what we call the dedicated practice. It's like we are going to the gym. But for mindfulness, you don't need to go to the gym. You just need to find a quiet place and practice it 10 or 15 minutes per day. You dedicated to it. Okay. Second one, we call it in the moment practice or the integrated practice. I mean, you integrate mindfulness in your daily life. Okay. What does it mean? When you brush your teeth, feel your feet standing on the ground, and you start to brush your teeth at a time. Feel the movement, even the taste. Okay, and your movement. That is what we call mindfulness in movement. Okay, or taking shower. All this you can apply mindfulness when you know the principle, how to do it. Okay, and then you may take a coffee break. Okay, when you at home or at home or at the workplace, when you feel tired, just take a break. When you make a coffee, trying to be aware of the process of making coffee. Okay, after that you smell your coffee, drink your coffee. Being present, be aware of the five senses experience is what we call. So by this, I summarize what we have just learned in this very short 90 minutes talk. Okay, dedicated practice is something we can do. Mindfulness of the body and breath, and then body scan before sleep, and then 3 minutes mindful space. Okay, and then for integrated practice, the arriving practice that we have just done, mindful listening, mindful eating. Later we still have some refreshment outside, and then daily life mindfulness, when you carry out your daily activity with mindfulness. So this is a summary. Emotional skills are trainable. I hope this is a very important take-home message for everyone. Mindfulness is the movement from autopilot to aware. Self-awareness, paying attention to the body. This is the first step for our self-awareness. And then integration, bring mindfulness into your everyday life so that mindfulness is sustainable. So by this, I wish you calm and clarity, and also strength and resilience, okay, in coping with life challenges.
So I'm a mom. Just want to know, how do you guide a toddler in mindfulness?
Okay. It's a very good question, but I'm not an expert in teaching kids with mindfulness. There are many books has been written, mindfulness for kids. Okay, of course it's not too small or too young. Okay, maybe at the age of 5 or 4, when they are able to understand and follow instruction, then you can share with them. A very simple mindfulness practice for kids that I read. Okay, because I have no kids. Okay, so it's what you call finger tracing. Finger tracing, you may play with the kids. For example, just you see now everyone can do it together. So you just use one finger and then to trace your finger, and then you follow your fingers and feel the touching sensation. Isn't it? Can you feel so? So when doing so, you can pay attention to the movement and pay attention to the sensation. Isn't it? By this, you are training the kids how to pay attention, okay, to the movement and to the physical sensation. Okay. In fact, there are many YouTube videos where in which the kids share how they benefited from mindfulness practice. Okay, I have a few videos. I have watched a few before. So you can teach our kids in a very creative way. For example, using even some neuroscience term. Okay, when you get angry, actually your amygdala, there is a certain part of the brain, we call it emotional brain, get activated. Okay, so what could you do? You may take some deep breath in and out, in and out, and then you feel your anger in heart. Because now we have shared some what we call the slide telling us that anger actually expressed in the body. So what is the benefit to pay attention to our emotion in our body? I give you one example. For example, you try to imagine this is a glass of water, okay, a hot water, a glass with hot water. If you hold it in this way, can you hold? No, you hold it and you want to put it down because it's hot, isn't it? So when we experience certain strong emotion like anger, and we try to bring kindness to it, to these strong emotions, like a bodily sensation, immediately our mind will detach from the strong emotion. It's like creating a space so that we can aware of this emotion with kindness. You can take a deep breath and feel this unpleasant feeling or sensation, not trying to push it away, but you feel it, and you can take some deep breath and feel it. After some time, you can see that your body or your mind start to cool down, because now you are bringing your attention to pay attention to the emotions. When we pay attention, a mindful attention to our strong emotion, it's like we are paying a caring attention to it. Okay, this is part of the healing process, or you can say the healing process is taking place. So when you try to run away from this strong emotion like sadness, the loss of a loved one, for example, this is unavoidable, isn't it? In mindfulness, we do not try to say, hey, try to think positive, try not to feel sad. We don't say such a word, okay? What we are trying to tell them is, you may feel your emotion of sadness, but with kindness, with mindfulness. After some time, you start to feel, coming down and settle down. So we can use to teaching kids and children, we have to teach from our experience. Okay, actually there is not much difference between the emotional experience of a kid and an adult, or even an old man or old woman. It's almost the same. Okay, so it's better you learn it when you were young, so you can save your life. Yes, thanks.